Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, gratefully recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, how we all doing today, guys? Happy Monday. Uh, nice day today, guys. As I talked about yesterday, I ended up working most of the day yesterday. Get up this morning, busy day, had a couple things scheduled, so no big deal. Monday morning, I have been asked to run the office for my friend Doug, whose office manager is away for the week. So I get up this morning. First thing I did was went down, processed all the rent checks that came in over the weekend, went and deposited about $50,000 into his account, including getting my own rent check to give to him because he's my landlord as well. And went on with my day from there. Actually went over and ended up repairing a fan cage on a furnace. That felt really good. I was able to save the lady a bunch of money. Another happy customer. I went to my day. Actually, come home and took a nap because, again, no days off. And last few days, I've been getting tired. Again, tells me I need a break, but I have no problem coming home and taking a nice nap in the afternoon. And it's rare that I can, but when I can, I take advantage. Cold day today. It was chilly today. Let me see. I started doing some writing for my pre-step work questions my sponsor gave me. Spoke with my sponsor. I'm excited. I'm excited to start working with my sponsor. We're actually I'm speaking at the Tuesday speaker meeting tomorrow. We're short on speakers, so I volunteered to speak, and my day has come up again. So I'm excited to carry a good message of recovery. Like working my program, man, and I try to work in every area of my life. It is giving me success in every area of my life, and that just makes life like easy today. Not, I shouldn't say easy, but I'm able to handle things with an ease that I've never had before, because I trust that all's going well. If I continue to get up, start my day in prayer, end it in meditation, and just focus on being my best self, regardless. Putting principles before personalities, right? So if I go into a customer that irritates me, I remind myself it's about the work, not the person, right? And I'm able to go there and do a good job. And it's shocking how many times I see that my kind attitude overrides their, predispositioned anger. And we end up walking away feeling good because I changed the outcome to something positive. And it doesn't say it happens every time, but it happens more often than not. It makes me feel good and it lets me know I'm doing the right thing. And that's a beautiful thing. Guys, success in the program, or success is what we're going to talk about today. It's the Just for Today and a meditation. Success. Any form of success was frightening and unfamiliar. Before coming to recovery, few of us had much experience with success. Every attempt to stop using on our own had ended up in failure. We had begun to give up hope of finding any relief from active addiction. We had grown accustomed to failure, expecting it, accepting it, thinking it was just part of our makeup. Well, when we stay clean, we begin to experience success in our lives. We begin to take pride in our accomplishments. We start to take healthy risks. We may take some knocks in the process, but even those can be counted as successes if we learn from them. Sometimes when we fulfill a goal, we hesitate to pat ourselves on the back for fear of seeming arrogant. But our higher power wants us to succeed and wants us to share with our loved ones the pride we take in our accomplishments. When we share our successes with others in recovery, they often begin to think that they too can achieve their goals as well. When we succeed, we help lay the groundwork for others to follow in our path. And the affirmation is just for today. I will take time to savor my successes. I will share my victories with an attitude of gratitude. And guys, like this reading, I feel sums up my recovery program to date really, really well. I've had to learn the difference in arrogance and humility, and there is a difference, guys. And so you want to celebrate your wins, and it's very important, guys, because you got to understand. And here's the thing: remember that what you look for, we find, right? So, what you perceive is your reality. Two people can look at the same situation. One's going to walk away pissing and moan and this, that, the other. And I used to be that person. Today, I'm not. I did a lot of very intentional work, subliminal hypnosis, just meditative intentionality, like reprogramming the way I looked at the world. And it was amazing because I started to see the reality of all the lies I was telling myself and the way that I was living in a victim mentality. You don't want to do that. You're inviting yourself to be victimized by not only yourself but everybody else around you in doing that. And being an active addiction obviously lends itself to that very easily. I've been able to overcome that, and I love that today, guys. And I started to see the reality of my situation. Like, I was never cursed. I was never paying for past life mistakes. I don't know anything about my past life, if I've ever had any, like, honestly. And yeah, we won't get into that esoteric stuff anyway. That these are the things I told myself, so therefore I was just giving myself an excuse to fail over and over again, and then coming to expect exactly that. So by the end, I had no will to really even try. I just went through the motions, and you're not going to get anywhere going through the motions. You might, collect a paycheck in the end of the week, but you're not going to get a promotion. You're not going to, you're not going to risk that, reach that next level. I certainly wouldn't have had the balls to go out and start my own business, which is laying the groundwork for changing everything about my life, my future, my existence, my name, my legacy, my feelings about myself, my comfort level, my stability, my financial future. All these things came from the successes of early recovery and by celebrating them. Guys, yesterday morning I put up 400 pounds on the bench press. Like, I felt like I was walking 2 feet above the ground walking out of the gym yesterday. And again, it was only a 5 pound increment, and I knew I'd get there. But it's when you actually take the steps and do it. It's one thing to know you can or something else, but there is a sense of accomplishment when you start looking at your successes, and then you start stepping up and challenging yourself to take healthy risks. And this is just a stupid little thing, but like when I first went to the gym, I was too embarrassed to get on the free weight machine because I knew how weak I was, and I just like insecurities. I'm vain, right? I'm human, but I accepted that, and I just used the cable machines, and I kept working out hard, not overly killing myself, but just consistently coming back. And it was about 6 months in before I ever went over to the weight machine, and immediately, as soon as I did, I started off. I don't remember what exact numbers I was at, but when I got to double plates, 225, I'm like, wow, like this is more than most people put. And again, I'm comparing to what I see at the gym. And most of the people doing that weight were twice my size. I felt good about that, but then I let that go, and I just said, well, how comfortable I am with this. Actually, this feels pretty light. So I started adding more weight and 10 pound or 20 pound, 10 pound per side increments. And that single day that I was so proud that I was able to do 225, I put up 295, and I was like, wow, like that's really good. It was the consistency of my successes, right? When I first went to my meeting on January 7th of 25, I had the small slip. I was cleaning the house the night before. I found the hit a crack. It was hours out of rehab, and I took that hit. And again, went the whole thing. I was deflated. I was devastated. I was in despair. I left my house. I found somebody that was locked out of her car. I helped her. It made me feel good about myself. For once in my life, I didn't throw in the towel, but I came home and I prayed and I thought about it, and I actually prayed to get out of the house. And then anyway, I come home and I looked at it all, and I said, well, I've always felt good. And remember days when I was homeless, living in Waltham, I'd see a car broken on the side of the road, and I'd just stop and help them, and then refuse payment, thinking I was like, proving some point. But it was because I like to be of service, and I got some semblance of humanity out of helping others. So I made the decision that night that the next day I would start my YouTube channel, because this was an idea that I had every single day in rehab. Like, it was like, oh, you got to do this. And at the same time, guys, I would wake up and I would pray and I would meditate, and I had this, I'm like, oh, that'd be such a great thing to do. And then I had the reality of my history up to that point, with never following anything through, never doing anything once, the reality of, oh, I got no teeth, I'm embarrassed, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to record, I don't know how to upload. And that kept hitting me every day. But then boom, the next morning, dude, got to do the YouTube channel. So I get home and I was wrestling with it until I had that slip, and I said, no, you know what? The difference between success and failure is doing the right thing, doing the things that we know are good for us, even when it's uncomfortable and hard. So I get up that next morning and I made a phone call to my ex-wife just to let her know I was home, and I was going to try and do well. And my neighbor come walking by. I knew he was in the program, and I'm like, hey buddy, listen, I just got out of rehab. I know you're in a program. Can you point me to a good meeting? And he's like, yes, absolutely, 12 o'clock, right down at Harvard Square, gratitude group. And I went that day, And the rest is history. I now chair that Friday meeting. It's my favorite hour of the week. It's my second family. It's where I've shared all my successes, and I've gotten to know these people. It's so beautiful to look back today, to realize when I walked in, like, terrified, scared, trying to figure out who's who might I get along with. And yeah, okay, that's where I was at that point. But as scared as I was, I raised my hand. I got my 24 and I didn't get hit in my. I'm sorry, my whole point of this was, in the back of my mind, I was thinking I could go in there tomorrow and get a 30-day chip, and I would have been lying. So I didn't when I got to the next day, because I was praying and I realized that the only thing that mattered wasn't these people that didn't know me. I didn't know if I'd ever come back to this meeting. It was between me and my higher power, God, who sees everything. I knew I had done that one little slip was all that mattered. So I got up and I introduced myself. I told them I got out of rehab the night before. I had a small slip. I went up and got my 24-hour chip, and they all cheered me on. They celebrated what I thought was a failure at that point. But it wasn't. It was a success, because it was being honest. It was owning what I had done, and it was starting fresh. And so I started coming back every Friday. I got a couple of days where I could. I'd go during the week when I had a day off, if I wasn't somewhere. But I made it a point, particularly when I quit my job and I realized I was not working for myself. I made a commitment to myself that I was going to make my Friday afternoon group. Because in the beginning, I'm like, oh, it's daytime meeting. I can't go there. I have to work. No, I have to recover. I lose everything if I don't put my recovery first. So for once in my life, because I was praying and I was paying attention, I was listening to meetings, I made that commitment. And I'm so happy I did, because it's my favorite hour of the week. It's my family. I know every one of those people by name and by personality. You know the histories, know the stories, I know what they're like. And I love every one of them. They're amazing people, right? And some of them are vastly different, and some of them I could see myself hanging out with on a daily basis. It doesn't matter. We're all there for recovery, and I support every one of them. Every one of them supports me. I love every one of them dearly for their, everything about them, for the way they've invited me into the group and then gave me a service position. And then lo and behold, come to find out, chairing the meeting, which is something I would have found terrifying before, comes incredibly natural to me. It goes hand in hand with doing these videos every day, with getting comfortable. Matter of fact, I was driving through town today on my way home, and I saw one of the girls from the meeting walking down the street. So I pulled over, and I'm like, hey, you want to ride? And we had a nice chat. And one of the first things she's telling me, she's like, all telling me what she was doing. I'm like, Amanda, you don't have to tell me any of this. I'm like, I'm just offering you a ride because I see you walking. She goes, no, but I want you to know, because I really respect you, and I want you to. Like, honey, I just saw you get your 6-month chip. I'm proud of you. You're doing fucking amazing. Having a visit with her kids for the first time on Thursday, which like almost brought tears to my eyes, because I've seen her break down and cry over missing her kids at Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving. Like, I'm so proud of her. It is so nice to not only share my successes, I go in and let these people know. These people watched me quit my job. That was all, like, I remember that first week there and talked about it. I was terrified to go back to work because I knew it was a bad place. People got up and gave me their numbers. People called me on Monday and Tuesday to make sure I made it through the day at work safely. It's like, wow, there's something here, right? And I bought in. So I kept coming, and I kept getting to know people and just sharing honestly, not trying to impress anybody. But it's funny, as things have gone on, these same people got to watch me start to get my flow. They watched me get my teeth and get healthy, and they watched me, and then I'd walk in, and people like, oh my God, you look so different. What are you doing? They were proud of me. They were sharing my successes with me. Like, I love these people, guys. I love recovery. I love putting my recovery out there open, and that's the other thing, guys. By doing this, again, I talk about it constantly. This has helped me to hold myself accountable. So this is at the end of the day, this is the beauty of this channel, is it holds me accountable. It gives me a reference, because it's funny, I always think I'm on top of my game, then I go back and look at a video from 6 months ago and realize how much further I progressed, and it just makes me so proud of myself, not in a vain way, but in a humble way, because I've seen the difference in my personality. I can honestly say how much more it means to me when I see other people succeed, when I see other people come in early and then start getting some stability, dealing with the inevitable stuff, the wreckage of our past that we all have to deal with, and then making it through that, and then they start to get that little bit of swagger and a little bit of pride and a little bit of sense of achievement, and they start sharing more openly, and you get to know their personalities. Guys, it's absolutely beautiful. Like, it's literally watching people restore their lives, just like happened for me. It's absolutely amazing. I share in their successes, they share in mine. Like we are, the unity of the group. It's amazing, guys. I can't say enough about it, right? But again, when you start applying, as you get your stability and you start getting used to having successes, and again, you're gonna have some knocks. I made some detours. I had to right some wrongs. I've had to cut people out. I've had to learn to say no. I've had to learn to put my needs first. I've had to learn to rest and not be a hero. I've always had hero complex because I'm good at fixing a lot of things. So I'd go out there and I'd be working till 8, 9 o'clock every night. No, I realized right off the bat this time, the only person whose life I need to be a hero in is my own, which means not working myself to the bone, not going out and trying to prove in some big hurry that I can do everything in the world, because I can't. I may make it look good for a couple of days and then I burn out and end up using drugs. So I was able to see that this time, and success this time meant learning to say no, learning to find balance. And I was very, very, very on point in those early days of not working more than 40 hours a week. Now, granted, I work a little more than 40 today, but I'm building a business, and I wasn't at that point, or I wasn't fully at that point. But I was making sure that I wouldn't let myself slide, because I saw one of my biggest triggers was getting overwhelmed, overworked, taking on too much, and then needing something to supplement my energy to get me there. And I'm not getting younger, guys. I'm getting older. It gets harder to get out of the bed today. So I've made a point of learning how to rest. I was taking time to go meditate in nature and take nature walks, and it's made all the difference because I started giving me time to just stop and think. And that's probably what I overlooked more than anything, because I was just living a reactionary life. I was constantly reacting to the mistakes I made and trying to put out fires and then manipulate my way around to get drugs and not look like an asshole. And I couldn't get anywhere. So I let it all go and realized, you know what? Sometimes I have to look like an asshole. It is what it is. It's part of the human experience. But I have to put my needs first. I have to right my wrongs. I have to adopt a policy of rigorous honesty, first and all, with myself. Because if I'm lying to myself, I'm not going to get anywhere. Nothing good is going to happen. And that was the culmination of my former life. I was first and foremost lying to myself. And if I was so comfortable lying to myself, the hell did it matter if I lied to everybody else? Because you can't have an honest relationship with anybody if you can't have an honest relationship with yourself. So I did that first, and I found success in that, because suddenly I was able to look at myself in the mirror and be proud, because I knew I was doing the right thing. Not making it look like I was doing the right thing, not getting somebody else to praise me for fooling them into thinking I was doing the right thing, but actually doing the right things. Stopping and helping people, saying hi to people, holding doors for people, just being of service in any way, shape, or form within reason that didn't tax from me. And there's this beautiful balance in this little dance that you do. Realize where you can have the most impact, get the most bang for your buck in service work and being a good person and sharing, while also putting what you need first so that you can feel good about yourself and have a reserve. Guys, you put your needs first, you build for yourself, and then you share with the overflow. And as long as you're doing everything for yourself, there's always going to be overflow. If it's nothing more than the wisdom of the good experience you're getting that you're then sharing with others and inspiring others. Some of the biggest successes that I count today are how many times I've heard, oh my God, I'm impressed that you were able to do that. If you were able to do that, I must be able to do this. You've inspired me to do more. Nothing I hear could possibly make me feel better than when I hear that. So I made a point of trying to do that, trying to do the right thing, trying to do things that others find difficult, trying to make it look, or just being honest about making it look possible, and inspiring others that they can too. That's the whole point of this channel, has been from day one. Guys, it works. It's a beautiful thing. Share your successes. Celebrate your victories. Don't be cocky. Don't be arrogant. Don't do it in a way that I'm better than you, because nobody's better than anybody. But you do it in a way that, hey, look, this is what I did. This program works. It helped me do this, that, and the other. And then if you do this, you can do it too, however it applies to you. That is sharing your success in a humility-based program, and it's a beautiful thing. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you for being there with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.